Everybody taking your phone calls. 412-575-2600 is the number. Also taking your tweets at Josh Taylor HD, as he tends to do often. Actually, Josh did not check in first today. The first person checking in on Twitter is Jason. He says Clint Hurdle needs to go and he should take Tony Watson with him. Ron, your thoughts on that particular?
Well, I mean, I know how hard it is to demote a guy like Tony Watson. He's one of the great people in that clubhouse. He's highly respected. He's been successful for Hurdle. But again, tonight Watson failed. I don't know how he can go back to him again. You got a guy out there, Rivero, who seems ready to take over that role and was probably going to take it over if Watson was lights out all the way up until the trade deadline. He probably was going to take it over after that anyway. So I think you have to go to him. Now, I get it. I know what I know what a quality person Tony Watson is, and I know if you're a manager and a guy's helped you win, you're going to try to be loyal to him. Try to give him one more shot. But, man, this is 2 games in a row. What is this, 4 or 5 out of the last 10 that he's given up runs like this and blown saves. Just not good enough. This is the big leagues.
I think it was pretty clear from the beginning of the season, once we first found out the job was his and his alone, that this was an effort to really help send Tony Watson off right. They were going to put him in every position to try to succeed, to really build his value up and put him in a position where he can go to a team that maybe benefited him. And it just hasn't worked according to the script because he has not performed in the 9th inning. He had his 4th blown save last night. That tied the National League lead. I'm going to go out on the limb and say he probably just took the National League lead. I haven't double-checked the numbers.
And he's just giving up home runs. I mean, that's what's bad. You make a team bunch 5 singles together and you get beat, I guess. But home runs are just killing him right now. And I don't get it. I mean, Tony was so successful as an 8th inning guy, but those last 3 outs are a little bit tougher than the other ones.
There's only 2 things you can't defend, a walk and a home run. Right. So those are the 2 things that pitchers, if they struggle with, they're going to come back to bite them the most. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Dan in Sarver. Dan, you're on the Nightly Sports Call. You there, Dan?
Yes, sir.
What you got for me?
Well, I'd like to hear the comments. Why does the Pirate organization deal with Hurdle and Watson? The best thing to do is get rid of both of them. I'll listen to your opinions, and I'll hang up and listen to your opinions.
I expect to hear that a lot tonight. We just heard that again. So I think we know what your answer is on that, Ron. So
well, I mean, Clint Hurdle's done a fabulous job here. He's helped bring this team back from the dead. I'm wondering if this may be his last year here. He hasn't got a contract for beyond next year. He has a club option, but no long-term security, and he may want to move on as far as I know. And I think Tony Watson will be traded before the deadline.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Neil Huntington also has an option.
Same situation.
Same situation. So that's, you don't want to call it 2 peas in the pod, but they're 2 situations that you pay attention to. Let's go to Matt and Shaler. Matt, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Yeah, I don't want to wait to the end of the trade deadline. I want him traded by the end of this dang show.
And I want you to not yell.
3.5 years ago.
Matt's a yeller. Matt's a yeller. You know, Matt, I understand. I understand your frustration, but you know, it's the big leagues, and results are what it's all about. And Watson hasn't been good enough, and I'm sure he'd be the first to tell you that.
Someone check on Matt to make sure he hasn't had a heart attack. He may not be breathing.
Oh, I know Matt from way back. Matt, this is how Matt talks.
That's not attractive. Just throwing that out there. Let's go to Ernie in Greensburg. Ernie, if you yell, I'm hanging up on you. I'm telling you right now. You're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, Josh, how you doing, Ron? I don't want to talk about the Pirates. It's the same old, same old. I'm tired of that.
I'm just glad you're not yelling. That's all. I'm glad your voice is nice and calm. But continue.
We got Game 5 staring us here, and I was kind of on the fence, not sure which way the series is going to go. I am convinced now that the Penguins are going to win. If the coaching staff is smart, they will put up some of the clips from tonight's Country Music Award show where you had a lot of celebrities from Nashville doing a lot of in-your-face catfish dropping, celebrating of their team. I know that that city hasn't won anything in the past. I know they're really riding the wave. I give them a lot of credit with that. But we need to use that as a motivation for ourselves.
Do you really think Sidney Crosby and Malkin and those guys need any motivation other than the fact to try to win another cup, become the first team in the salary cap era, add to their legacy 3 cups, which would top what Mario and all his Hall of Famers did? I don't think they give a damn about what the country music people are saying, and I don't think they need that whatsoever.
That's a record. That's the first time I ever got a call that talked about the Country Music Awards, so congratulations to you.
These guys are 2 wins away from a cup. They don't need extra motivation.
John and Venetia, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, Josh and Ron. I promise I won't yell.
Thank you.
I'm actually calling about the Buccos, but before I get into that, I know it's been stated, and I just wanted to remind everyone that unless the Pens score more than 1 goal tomorrow, I don't think it matters who's in goal. I know that goaltending is obviously very important, but the Pens need to start finding the back of the net on some of these opportunities. But in regards to the Pirates, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but Clint Hurdle, I respect the guy, I like the guy, but I think he's being, stubborn is not even the right word. It's just to the point of ridiculous that he has not made a move to Rivero. It defies logic and common sense that he didn't make this move weeks ago, and it's very frustrating for all Pirate fans. And that's why the Pirates are going to just meddle around the 500 mark all season long because of stupid decisions like this.
John, I appreciate the call. And there's a pattern of decisions that Clint Hurdle has made, but they've all been late, Ron. Moving Gregory Polanco out of the cleanup spot, that probably came a couple weeks too late. Moving Andrew McCutchen from 3rd down to 6th, that probably came a month or two too late. Not moving Felipe Rivero, at least considering giving someone else, even if it's not Rivero, a shot at closing games out. That's probably something that came a month or two too late. So there's been a big pattern of decisions that Clint Hurdle has made really late. Now, granted, Clint Hurdle has that reputation, Ron, of being a guy that his players love to play for. He likes to look out for his guys. He likes to protect his guys. He likes to build them up. He likes to play psychologist as much as he does manager. But there are times, like this one, where it does not benefit you and it comes back to bite you.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to argue that, but I talk to a lot of baseball people, and they say the number one thing they need to have if you're a manager or GM, patience. Same thing, number 2, patience. Number 3, patience. You try to give a benefit of the doubt to a guy who's been very good for you, and Watson has been very good for him over the years. Now, I just think it's indefensible. I agree with the caller.
I got to give a Twitter shout out to Christy. She said, I thought the game, I think she's talking about Game 5 for the Penguins. I thought the game was tonight. I was sad. I was 24 hours early, feeling empty. Love this show. It's okay, Christy. Just get a good night's sleep. Come back tomorrow. You will be fine. In the meantime, we will take a break. When we come back, I promise we will be fine. Ron Cook, Josh Taylor, stick around.